Welcome back. We are here with Gerhard Fettweis. He is the Vodafone chair at the University of Dresden. Gerhard, you were telling us earlier about your belief that the Internet of Things won't really take off commercially until it goes through a little bit of a transformation at the silicon level.
Yes, what I find fascinating is it very much reminds me of the wireless LAN business. I was living in the Bay Area in the early 90s, and there were like 50 startups funded, everybody coming up with their own proprietary wireless LAN solution. And it was so fragmented, nothing happened. Not only the integration level was not high, it were big clunky boxes, but they were all incompatible. And then this company that we hardly had on the radar for this, Intersil, came up with a chipset for 802.11b, put this on the market, and everybody started to say, oh, we can build a wireless LAN box, a Wi-Fi box, based on this chipset. And so just people started to take this chipset, use the dev kit, and start developing all kinds of Wi-Fi solutions. And that really kicked off Wi-Fi like crazy. So what we see now is sort of a similar situation as in the early 90s in wireless LAN. It is a totally fragmented market. Everybody develops their own solution. Everybody has their own way of doing these things, operating these things. They're incompatible. Everybody sees a market seemingly big enough to address, but in the end, we probably will need a chipset company to come up with an IoT chipset platform to throw this onto the market and say, look, guys, just use this. And now it's a little bit different than just with this wireless LAN system, because now we have to also make sure that this is a chipset that provides a secure boot real-time operating system, because we want every light bulb connected to the IoT sort of ecosphere to be sure that we cannot use that for any attacks on the network, denial of service attacks or whatever. Also, we have to make sure that it is a secure node, no matter if it's a light bulb, or if it's a car, or if it's a drone flying over somebody's, hopefully not backyard, but over some road, or whatever kind of object we're going to be able to take into consideration.
Well, there are certainly several chip companies out there that would probably like to take that role. And we see some in sort of the low power wide area network camp. We see the narrowband IoT, cellular. Do you have any thoughts on how those compare, or where you think we might see more traction?
So I personally think that many of the big companies right now, they're too busy in doing 5G in the standard way of just driving data rate. They're not really going into that direction. So just like Intersil popped out of the middle of nowhere, I mean, it was a company we knew, Harris Semiconductor, right? But it was not a company that everybody was thinking of building a commercial, yes, big volume chipset. So it probably is going to be a company that exists already today. Maybe it's going to be an ST Micro, maybe it's going to be some Japanese company, NEC Semiconductor doesn't exist anymore. But some other company, so that we can see that it might pop up from existing, and might also be a startup that takes over.
Okay, all right, we'll have to see what happens. Thank you so much.
It's going to be fun.